What's going on, guys? Adam Ivy, AdamIvy.com. One question that I seem to get repeatedly in one way, shape, or form over the years, even to this day, is Adam, how do you stay motivated? Adam, how do you stay inspired to create? A lot of us, whether it's making music, whether it's art, whether it's photography, doing videos, writing for blogs or writing for, you name it, we run out of steam. Right? We run out of those creative juices, and you either have one of two options at that point. Quit and just kind of wait until you feel inspired, or work through it, right? That's really what this video is all about. I'm going to tell you a couple things that I do to get that going again and to work through it. So there's two types of people. Those that constantly are looking for motivation, those that are constantly looking for this magical inspiration. Those people fuck around a lot. Those people just dick around, waste a whole lot of time, and they don't really think of things in a practical way. And then you have the complete opposite end of the spectrum, those that don't really need motivation or inspiration, and they just kind of do things in a systematic, formulaic way, right? We've all made some type of art, and we get so good at a certain style that it's kind of like we could do it with our eyes closed and know it like the back of our hand. That's where you don't need as much motivation and inspiration because you're just doing something over and over and over again. So we want to find that middle ground, right? Find the magic. But that is hard sometimes because when we're super inspired, we get this high. It's just like if you were to wake up today and I'm telling you, hey, I just bought you your dream car, free and clear, it's all yours. You'd get super pumped up, right? I know I would. But then you have this other end of the spectrum where you wake up and you go and look in the garage or in the parking lot and you have a 98 Honda Accord again for the last 4 years and it needs a brake job, right? It's not too exciting, but it gets the job done. That's really what I'm getting at here. When I find myself uninspired, you got to work through it. You got to sit down and say, you know what? I'm not going to let that stop me as an excuse, because then you just go chasing after this high that you're never going to quite find. You sit around and watch YouTube videos of other people doing what you want to do, right? You sit on Facebook and you read status after status after status with a bunch of stuff that doesn't really matter. Now I'm going to tell you something that does help with inspiration. So if you're an artist of any kind, a recording artist, traditional painting artist, drawing, sketching, there's something that I do as an exercise when it comes to music that has always helped me. Let's say that I'm in a funk and I don't know what to produce. I step away from it and I think to myself, what is the traditional style or the thing, I should say, the habit, the habitual style that I always run to, whether that be R&B, whether that be trap music, rap, pop, whatever you produce, whatever you create. Let's say that you're a painter. Try a different style, try a different genre, try a different medium. So if you love making trap beats and you get into a funk, spend an entire week, force yourself to make EDM beats, electronic dance music. Make classic R&B stuff. Go back and listen to Boyz II Men and Blackstreet and like early 90s R&B and try to replicate those beats, because I'm telling you, you're going to learn something to begin with, and it's going to open your mind to getting outside of that little contentment that's really holding you back. Because that's what happens when you can't find motivation or inspiration anymore. It's not because you're not doing it, or it's not because you're not passionate about it anymore. It's because you've been doing it too long. And repetition at the root is just repeating the same stuff over and over. If you're producing, if you're editing videos, you're looking at the same program all day, every day. Now, granted, if you have different sounds, those can help motivate or inspire you more so. If you have a buddy that you comes over and you collaborate on music or you collaborate on videos, that can really help when it comes to kicking up that motivation, kicking up that inspiration, kicking up that creativity. That's the word I was searching for. But I'm going to give you a task. I'm going to give you a challenge. Make a schedule and stick to it. Think of it as a job, because let's face it, if you're doing music, if you're doing any type of content creation, you might want to do it as a profession. Now, if you don't want to do music as a profession, if you don't want to create whatever you're struggling with as a profession, then who really cares? Just go do something else. That's another way to get a lot of creative juices flowing, is to go on a vacation, go on a road trip, go hang out with people you haven't seen in a while. Give yourself permission to take a vacation. so many times we hit this burnout mode, right? I know we've all dealt with it. A lot of us call it beat block. A lot of us call it creative block. And I've talked about it in a different video before about, getting through beat block, but it's not quite the same. Beat block is not quite the same as not having motivation or inspiration or feeling creative. And I know a lot of times that our mood, what we're going through in life, can really spawn, a lot of inspiration or kind of make us feel depressed to the point where you don't want to do anything. You just want to sit down on the couch watching Netflix with a big bowl of mac and cheese and just chill, man. Just hang out. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of us hold such high expectations on ourselves that we get really disappointed with ourselves when we just want to relax a little bit, right? But I'm kind of getting off subject here. What I wanted to challenge you guys to is, if you want to do your craft as a career, set a schedule and pretend like it is a career right now. Even if you have a day job, even if you live with your parents and you're going to college or whatever, think of it as a day job. Even if it's 2 hours a day, sit down for those 2 hours and say, I'm going to create something. It might be total garbage by the time I'm done, but I'm not going to get up until I create. Because that's going to open your mind to doing it in a formulaic way, which can be very good. If you're very, very good at a certain style and people come to you for that style, whether it's, I keep referring to painting or whatever, but what I'm getting at is it's not just music here. People are going to come to you for your signature style. Now, I know a lot of us kind of emulate other people's styles, whether that be for a fun exercise or that's what we aspire to do. But I'm going to challenge you to do this as a day job, do this as a career, and push through those days where you don't feel like doing it. Because through that, you're going to flex that muscle. And that muscle is going to get you to where you need to be. Because the people that just give up when they're not motivated, when they're not inspired, are not ever going to get to the higher level. They're never, ever, ever going to be able to have any sustainability. They're never going to be able to support a family for a long time. Think about this, guys. If you're a music producer, I'm talking to you. How many years are you going to do this before the money runs out? I'm not trying to be a buzzkill here, but if you are in your 20s or 30s or even 40s and you're making music and you're making good money, do you think that you're going to be 65, 70 years old producing trap music? No. And that's where the formulaic mindset and the mind muscle comes into play, because you're going to find other opportunities. You're going to find other interests that you're going to want to build on. And if you only build on them when you're motivated, when you only build on them when you're inspired, nothing's ever going to happen. You're going to end up working full time at Checkers, asking if they want the cookie with their 5 for $4. We don't want that. Now, if you work at Checkers, I appreciate you. I really don't like your food. I don't really say negative things about many places, but Checkers, I am not particularly fond of. I had a bad experience with like a Philly steak and cheese concoction Anyway, I'm getting off subject. Flex your mind muscle. Push through to where you want to be. I know that I get loud and stuff in some of these videos when I really get passionate, but even these videos, sometimes I don't feel as passionate about doing them. Sometimes I don't get super hyped up. Because to me, this is common sense. To me, this is what I've been practicing. We're not always going to feel inspired to do anything. You could be a professional race car driver, have a cool job, sponsored by the biggest brands in the world, making millions of dollars. And there's going to be days where you get up and you're like, I don't want to drive a car today. I just want to chill, man. But you have to. If you want to be the best, you got to... What's that? Ric Flair? To be the best, you have to beat the best. It was more like, to beat the best. No. Woo! Okay, you're welcome. That probably got loud, I'm sorry. To be the best, you have to beat the best. Sounds super cheesy, but it's true. What do you got to do today to beat the best of today? Because you're not there yet. If you're watching this video, you and we're not the best of pretty much anything, let's face it. So what do we got to do to get there? You got to work through that lack of motivation, work through your creative block, work through the lack of inspiration, and surround yourself with environments, surround yourself with people that do breathe life into you, right? So with that being said, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff at Adam Ivy. And until next time, wait, hold on. Leave a comment in the comments below and let me know what you do to get through your funks. I know that I always ask for comments, and I promise you this isn't like comment baiting, but I really do like to hear from you guys, and you can go back on my other videos and see that I do respond to a lot of the comments in the videos. What do you do to get through it? Like, this is what I do. And what I do isn't law, but this really helps me, and I think it's going to help a lot of you guys. But what do you do when you hit this funk and you just don't feel like doing shit? Comments in the comments below. And until next time, you can find me at adamivy.com.